Hey everybody, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is the Magician. Also seeing Four of Cups here. It looks like there's something that you're up to. You may be taking a small break. You could feel like you're getting a little bit winded with something that you have going on. The Magician is about like your intention as far as like what you intend to like be a part of and also make happen. So it's about like really getting to the bottom of like what's motivating you, of what you're trying to experience, of how you're going to sort of set things up to move in that direction. And it can also be about you getting in touch with, again, like what you want to experience and what you're trying to do. And it can be about what you're trying to create and what you want your message to be, whether it be something that you're saying to yourself or to others, or what you want the message of your life to be, or of some type of experience, those sorts of things. And there can be a big focus on like what you're doing currently or what you're trying to make happen currently. Having Four of Cups come out can mean that you could be feeling a little bit fatigued, you could be feeling exhausted, you could be feeling tired, you could be feeling sad about something, you could be feeling drained. It's like all of these feelings where it can be a moment where it's like, I was really motivated to do this, or I do even still want to do this, but I'm feeling like I need a little bit of a break right now. And this can even be something that you had an intention to do something, and now you can be getting to a point where you're like, did I really want to do this? Is this really resonating with me? So it feels like you're having a moment where there is some questioning that's going on here. Let's see. I want to clarify the Four of Cups just to see if we can get insight on where this is coming from. Because sometimes with the Four of Cups, it's a moment where it's like, do I actually want to be doing this? And that there may be grounds for changing something. However, it can be a time where, depending on what you were sort of leaning into as far as validation, maybe something didn't go your way and now you're like not as motivated because of that. So I just want to see where I'm seeing the Devil come out. This feels like something that's like unregulated. Interesting. Okay. The Magician, you have a clear idea of your intention and what you're trying to do. It seems like Four of Cups is coming out because there is something energetically that you're going through. It's not that you don't want to be doing this. Having the Devil come out can be like I was relying on external validation for that, or I was like, the Devil is stuff outside of yourself that you think that you need. And you may have been making something like contingent upon like something externally manifesting for you that would maybe like reinforce this thing that you have going on that you're doing over here. There can also be like fear that's getting to you that can be involved in this, you being worried about something, or you just going off of something that's not internal. So whatever it is that's going on here. There can also be something that you feel like you're fighting or that you're battling, even. That can be a vibe. Doesn't have to be the only way this can manifest. Okay. I've been seeing a lot of the same energy coming out today. Not all exactly the same, but some definite themes. It feels like there's a pause that's happening to think about things or to sort of like recharge energetically. It feels like we're not only just marching ahead now. Like there's a reason to stop, there's a reason to pause, even if you don't feel like this was necessarily like your idea. By you tuning in, it's like, I need a break right now, or I'm not feeling this right now, like that type of thing. I'm looking at Three of Pentacles, which speaks about being like sort of open to working with what's around you. However, we also have Five of Swords here, and that is an energy that is not going to be helpful within this, because Three of Pentacles needs an attitude of cooperation. Five of Swords is like, I'm just looking out for myself here. So there can be an energy where you need the cooperation and you need the openness and you need the will and communication to make something work. And Five of Swords is like, I'm not going to do that. It can be like that type of thing. So maybe you feel like somebody that you're working with, this is the vibe that you're getting from them. When I say working with, I just mean like interacting with. So it can really be in any type of setting. This can also be you right now. Maybe you feel like you have an attitude about something. Like there's some type of issue here. Maybe you don't feel like working with another person currently. There can be some type of like sensitivity about being vulnerable, something going on. Five of Swords comes out because Five of Swords is triggered. So it feels like there are 2+ energies that are connecting with one another. Something has now happened at this point where somebody's feeling a type of way. And that's why the Five of Swords is popping up. So somebody feels threatened, somebody may feel insecure, somebody may feel jealous, somebody may feel like they're not being respected or not being listened to, or they could be feeling resentful. Like these are the types of things that are connected with the Five of Swords that has to do with like our perception, how we're looking at something, not preferring what we see and then closing ourselves off because of that. And it feels like this happened within a situation where they're supposed to be like, we're supposed to be working together here. We're supposed to be figuring this out together. But Five of Swords is like somebody really having a chip on their shoulder for some reason. Seven of Cups, and it seems like there's something now emotionally that's coming up that is not being addressed. Maybe also because it doesn't feel like a safe space to address this for some reason. Somebody could be acting a type of way and they could be confused by that, and also the other people that are involved in this may feel confused by that as well, like what's actually even going on here. So you can be looking at somebody and being like, why are they acting like that? Like what's happening? Like what happened that now they're feeling triggered, and that's coming into the collaborative space. And for those of you that this is your own energy, you could feel triggered by something and feel a type of way and be like, I don't know like why this is triggering to me. I don't know why I feel threatened by this. I don't know why I feel upset by this, but I feel like I need to shut down and close myself off in order to protect myself. So I'm seeing those things going on. So regardless of like what side of this you're on, it seems like everybody's sort of confused about what's going on here and what led to this sort of transpiring here within this situation. I do feel like this is coming from some type of insecurity, because this Five of Swords, it has somebody on stilts, and it feels like somebody feeling like they need to make themselves taller in some way than everybody else because they're feeling insecure. You know, it feels like overcompensating. So something along the lines of that may be happening. But the person, I feel like everybody involved is confused by this, even the person that this may be centered around. So the person that's sort of like bringing this energy into this situation, they may be very confused why this is happening. They may not understand it. They can feel like they're armored up right now, but not really understand how, again, like how this transpired within the situation, and now be like, I'm just as confused as everyone else, even though I'm the one sort of like behaving like this and bringing the energy into the situation. It feels like there was a strong idea of what was going to happen in the beginning, and then feeling, oh, the Four of Cups is here. Somebody could have experienced perceived rejection, and that can be where this came from actually. I wasn't seeing it immediately, but just because this Four of Cups is different from like the normal Four of Cups, and so I read this one a little bit differently, but yeah, Four of Cups can be somebody being offered something and then there being like a perceived rejection of that while everyone's supposed to be working together, and now somebody feels triggered, and it looks like that's where this came from. And this can also be let's say that you and somebody else are trying to work something out together, and one person feels tired but didn't like call it out, like didn't say anything about it, and then the other person is like, they're acting weird and I think it's because of me, and then it's like they don't like me anymore, or they're not trying to work together, and then is like getting all armored up because again they're feeling triggered by this. So remember, this can be like a number of things where somebody wasn't trying to potentially like reject another on purpose. It could have just been like they didn't feel like getting up for work that day, you know, and came to work with an attitude, like something like that, or just was feeling more lethargic, or wasn't feeling as like excited or social as they usually are. You know, this can be like lots of different things, but it feels like what happened was just somebody sort of having a natural reaction to their environment, and then this other person, this triggering something within them, and now they're like, I don't even know what's going on, but I know that this doesn't feel good. I know that I'm closed off right now. Or if you're the other person, you can be seeing somebody else and being like, I just don't understand why they're acting like this, but I know that they're being weird with me now, like that type of thing. But now everybody's like sort of confused about what's going on here. Less so now as we're sort of fleshing this out, but that could have been sort of the immediate feeling of how things were going. The beneficial thing about this, because we can look at this and be like, this is really inconvenient, like this is really annoying that it's happening, like I wanted this to be a smooth situation here and it's not. The beneficial side of this is that Five of Swords only gets triggered when they have something within them that can attach to this. So this means that this was just something below, this insecurity, we'll call it, was below the surface for this person anyway. And it's bringing this to light for them so they can actually see something below the surface. Otherwise, they may not be aware that this insecurity is there, you know, or that these feelings are there. So this is a situation that sort of says, hey, that's what's going on there. So it leads to an ability to do shadow work and to gain further self-awareness and understanding. And so to bring light to this situation so everyone can understand everyone better, especially ourselves. Someone may have heavy Scorpio placements too, or a lot of Pluto in their chart. This can be personal placements that are in Scorpio. This can also be Pluto aspecting personal placements. So it can be like Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, Mercury, Venus. Also can have, and or having Pluto aspecting one of those placements or multiple of those placements. Because I'm seeing a lot of Pluto here. I'm seeing Mercury and I'm seeing Pluto, and I'm also seeing Scorpio. And the vibe of Scorpio is like immediately reacting to something in order to protect oneself and like armor up to not get hurt further, even before we possibly are consciously processing like what has taken place and what has happened. Sort of just this like automatic response that we have, this reaction even. Okay, having Magician and having Judgment is about analyzing, looking at, and getting to the bottom of what the original intention was, because it feels like we start the reading with like, I know what I'm intending to do here and I know what I'm hoping to accomplish here, like that type of thing. Judgment coming out feels like we are reassessing that. There may be a bit of a resistance to that reassessment and to allowing things to sort of like grow in the direction that they're growing in. Based off of what has happened, it seems. Okay. I'm seeing Eight of Wands, the Sun, the Tower. Once we look at something, it's going to allow things to change, which feels like this feeling of losing one's traction within the situation. It's like the car is packed up, ready to go. You know where you're going, you have gas in it, and you start moving. This situation happens, and then it's like the fuel gets taken out, and then everybody's just sitting there. It seems like in sort of reflecting on the beginning of this process and where we started, and allowing this to be like shaken out of the situation with Four of Cups, it seems like it's going to allow things to change. Because we have Judgment and we have Death, which means that like after we look at this and assess what's going on, it allows us to surrender what is unnecessary and then keep moving on our way. I'm seeing Eight of Swords, so there can be this feeling of like, is that actually even going to work? But then I'm seeing Eight of Wands, which means that it will, and then things are going to get moving. And I'm also seeing the Sun. So I'm seeing there be like a lot of happiness that's connected with this maybe unforeseen situation, because I'm also seeing the Tower popping out here. And that can mean that like this is feeling like a bit of a roadblock that came up, that can feel like it was unexpected the way that this presented itself within this situation. However, it's really grounds for more self-awareness at the end of the day. And opening the heart space just like that much further too. I do feel like something could have felt very clear in the beginning, and what I'm seeing is that as we get towards the end, something may not feel so clear anymore, and that can feel like there's a bit of disruption here. I knew what was happening in the very beginning of this, then somewhere around the middle, things get a little bit shaky. This looks like it is not just with one person, it's how like everybody's reacting to one another. So I'm seeing that be this is not like a solo trip. Having Three of Pentacles here is like there are multiple energies and they're all pinging off of one another, and that being a big part of what's sort of shifting around and changing here. And there even being this feeling of like, I don't know if this is gonna work then, or now I'm feeling like I don't know how to proceed with this, or now I feel like things are jammed up, or things are blocked, or things are stuck, and I don't think that this is gonna work out. That's not what I'm seeing, but that can be the feeling. And it can be like a really dense energy of focusing a lot on like the pessimistic part of this, rather than sort of like addressing things and seeing how to move forward with it. Feels like the best thing to do here within this situation is to focus on the Sun, which is focusing on things that feel inspiring, shaking this off in some way, doing what you need to sort of like let yourself emerge from this situation rather than being bogged down by it. And also to allowing yourself to be aware of what this has brought up for you. Because if there's a lack of willingness to recognize what this has brought up, then we become consumed by it, and it keeps sort of control over us, rather than us recognizing what's happening and then being able to know how to work with those aspects of ourselves, even if it's an unfavorable aspect of ourselves that's coming up. Maybe something that we feel. Five of Swords can be like, I feel embarrassed about acting like that, or I feel like it's hard for me to be willing to be vulnerable to admit that I felt insecure about that. You know, like all these things connected with the Five of Swords, where if we're still staying armored, it can make it really difficult for us to be willing to open up and work together. However, I'm seeing that if there's a willingness to recognize, like, yes, that did happen, I'm seeing what's going on here, and also, instead of keeping myself shut down, I'm going to try to emerge out of this and keep myself open, even if I'm still sort of processing this and working it through. It's really going to allow things to get moving here and to not stay stuck. So this is something that can tear things down completely, or you can recognize what this process was meant to reveal, open yourself up, and then keep moving with it. So, and it feels like it's not just one person's choice. This feels like it's a collective choice, because we have Three of Pentacles here. So that's what I'm seeing is going on here. Things are definitely going to be worked out. Recognition is a really big piece of this, a really big step of this. Sort of like the basis of where certain feelings and thoughts had been coming from, and then how to emerge from them. I'm seeing this emergence be important, because if that's not happening, we're staying shut down within the process, and it feels like this whole thing is going to then because we have the Tower here, it's like this can be a make or break situation with whatever here is sort of in the process of manifesting. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.